Hello, my little artists. It is time for us to begin our project for today. So today we are going to be drawing this really cool sea turtle under the ocean. Okay, and I know there looks like there's a lot going on here, but it's not that hard. You guys know I wouldn't give you guys anything too hard. All you have to do is listen and follow me. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start with our turtle's shell. And we are going to be making that football almond shape that we make all the time. So, I'm going to find the middle of my paper. Just kind of guess where the middle of my paper is. First of all, my paper is going tall, portrait, right? So I'm going to find the middle of my paper. And I'm going to go above, okay? I don't want my turtle down here at the bottom. I want my turtle right above the middle of my paper. So I'm going to start by making a big smiley face right here in the middle of my paper. Right above the middle. Make a big smiley face. And then to make that football almond shape, I got to put the rainbow frowny face line right above it. Now remember, you guys are drawing with a pencil. I'm drawing with a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we got our football almond. Pretty big, right? Look how big that is compared to my hand. That's really, really big. Okay, now we're going to finish his shell and do his head. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make a little diagonal line on either side of the points of my football. So I made two diagonal lines coming out from the points. Now what I'm going to do is draw another smiley face line connecting these two. So watch and then draw. Okay. Now it kind of looks like a UFO, doesn't it? Okay, now what I'm going to do is over here on the left side, I'm going to draw his head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here and see how my line comes out and then curves down a little bit. Just comes out and curves down. So it's going to go out and curves down. Okay, now underneath that, I'm going to draw a diagonal line. Now watch how I do this. See how my line starts out here and goes over? Okay, my line doesn't end or begin from that one. It goes out a little bit to the left and out a little bit to the right. Then what I'm going to do is, see, here's my line that I just drew, this one right here. So I'm going to start on the left side and curve it back to his shell with a smiley face line. Okay, so I'm going to start over here, not here. I'm going to start over here on the left, and I'm going to curve it back to his shell. And now we've got his head drawn. So we've got his shell and his head. Okay, now we're going to draw his eye, and his eye is really big, isn't it? It takes up most of his head. So I'm going to start by drawing a big circle, really, really big, really, really big. And I want it to touch the edge of his mouth right here. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to draw a really big circle, really big circle. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw another circle. So far I've drawn two circles. And then I've got one more circle to make, but look at this circle I'm going to draw next. See how it's over here towards the right side of his eye? And it's little. So I'm going to draw that one. And now his eye is finished. Okay, next we're going to draw his flippers. So we're going to start with his front flipper. So I'm going to come a little bit from his head. I'm going to come over a little bit from his head, and I'm going to draw a big smiley face line. Okay, we'll start at his shell and draw a smiley face. Okay, now at the end of my smiley face, I'm going to draw two rainbow frowny faces. Watch, I'm going to come over a little bit, and then another one. Two, kind of looks like when you're just drawing a little bird up in the sky, kind of like a little lowercase m almost. Now, to draw the other side of his flipper, we're going to draw another smiley face from this point back up to his shell. So we'll draw a smiley face back up to his shell, and that makes his front flipper. Okay, now we're going to do his back flipper. Okay, so I don't want to start there at the edge of his shell. I'm going to come in a little bit and draw me another smiley face line. So I came down a little bit from the edge of his shell and drew a smiley face line. And then I'm going to draw a little curved line in. Kind of that frowny face out. Frowny face out. Now, does it have to look exactly like this? No. Does mine look exactly like the one I did in this example? No, they don't look the same. So it doesn't have to look exactly the same. And then from this point, I'm going to draw that smiley face back to his shell. And now he has a back flipper. Okay, so now we need to draw his belly. Okay, so see how his belly goes right in between his head and his flippers? We're going to be drawing these two lines right here. So I'm going to start right here between his head and his front flipper, and I'm going to draw this little smiley face line. So I just drew it right there between his head and his front flipper. And then I'm going to come over to the back of his front flipper, and it's going to curve all the way up to where his back flipper meets his shell. So I'm going to start about here and curve it up to where his back flipper meets his shell. And now he's got a belly. And we're almost done with our turtle. All we got to do is add in some details. I'm going to add in some details. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to add these little brown spots to his head and his flippers. So I'm just going to make some little dots. Some can be bigger than others. Just going to make me a couple little dots on his face and his flippers. Give him some little dots. Okay, now what I'm going to do is right here. See how I've got these diagonal lines on that bottom part of his shell? This part right here. Okay, I'm just going to add some lines. Just add some lines. And we got that part of his shell. And we got one more step, and we will be done with our turtle. So take a second and finish up those details, and then we're going to make all of these cool shapes on the back of his shell. Now, yours don't have to look exactly like mine. I've just got some triangles and some rectangles, and there's a pentagon there, and some more triangles, and some odd-shaped rectangles and quadrilaterals. I don't know if you know that term yet, quadrilaterals. That's just a shape that has 4 sides. Squares, rectangles, trapezoids, parallelograms, rhombuses, diamonds. Those are all quadrilaterals, because quad means 4 sides. So the one thing I want to try to do is I want to try to make these go along with the curve of his shell. See how all these lines kind of curve along the top of his shell? And then the bottoms of them look like they curve along with the bottom of his shell too? So I'm going to start here in the corner. I'm going to come a little bit in, and I'm going to draw a little line up and a little line down. And then I'm going to connect them. We'll come over a little bit, draw another little curved line, draw a line down, and connect them. Now again, the shapes you put on his shell do not have to look like mine at all. I'm just following the curve of his shell and then just making some of them 4-sided. Some of them are 3-sided. Once here on the edge, I'm going to do 3-sided. So I kind of got 2 triangles here on the edges, and then the rectangles in the middle. And we'll do the ones along the bottom. So you can draw these exactly like me, or you can make them look however you want. It's up to you. Added a couple rectangle squares there. And then here I'm going to do the pentagon. And pentagon has 5 sides. Looks like a little house. And then I'm left with 2 spots to do a couple triangles. And now I've got his shell filled in. So like I said, you can choose any kind of shapes you want. Just add some different geometric shapes on his shell. And then we are done with our turtle. So I'm going to give you guys a few more seconds to finish this up, and then we are going to move on to the next part. Okay, next thing we're going to do, once you're done with these shell, is we're going to be making the ocean lines, those smiley face ocean wave lines up here at the top. So I'm just going to come up here to the top of my paper and make a smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Just add some waves. Then we have to add our little fishies. And these look like the little goldfish crackers, don't they? I like goldfish crackers. They're cute and they're tasty. So to make our little fishy shapes, we're going to start with a little vertical line. And then we're going to kind of be drawing a triangle, but we don't want it to meet. So I'm going to draw a diagonal in and a diagonal in, but I don't want them to touch. Because then I'm going to draw an oval from one side to the other. And that makes my fishy shape. So again, vertical line, diagonal down, diagonal up, don't let them touch. And then you do your oval, and you got a fishy. So we're just going to add some more fishies. Vertical line down, diagonal up, don't let them touch, and connect them with an oval. So we're going to add some more fishies up here at the top. Vertical, diagonal in, diagonal up, don't let them touch, connect with an oval. Vertical line, I'll make this one a little bit bigger. Diagonal down, diagonal up, don't let them touch, and an oval to connect them. Vertical line, diagonal down, diagonal up, oval to connect them. Vertical down, diagonal up, don't let them touch, and oval to connect them. And then we'll add one more. Vertical line, diagonal up, diagonal down, diagonal up, don't let them touch, and connect them with an oval. Okay, so go ahead and finish all your little fishy shapes. I just added, how many did I add? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put 8. And then all we have left to do are the sea plants down at the bottom. So finish your fish. I'm going to give you guys about another 20 seconds to finish your fish. And if you haven't had a chance to finish your pattern on his shell, go ahead and get that done. And then I'm going to show you how to make the sea plants. We got like a sea anemone and coral, I believe. And then we got our starfish down there at the bottom. Okay, so sea anemones, look at that. Does that kind of look like my finger right there? It kind of looks like a finger, doesn't it? So if we look at our finger, we see that we've got a vertical line and then it curves like a rainbow and then comes back down. It's like a part of an oval. So we're going to start with the one here in the middle. Come down here at the bottom. I'm going to draw a line up, curve it over, and bring it back down. It looks like a finger. So I'm just drawing a finger shape. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to draw one that's going off to the side. So instead of coming vertical and curving over, it's going to go diagonal and curve over. So I'm going to come and I'm going to go diagonal, curve it over, and come down. Okay, now this one over here on the right, it kind of looks like it's kind of like bending at the bottom and then going up. So we're going to kind of start down here and we're going to curve up, curve over, come back and down. Kind of looks like a arm of a cactus almost. Kind of looks like the arm of a cactus. And then this one here, he's kind of just peeking out in between the first two we drew. So we'll start here on the edge, curve up, Go back down. Now, do these have to look exactly like the ones I drew? No, because these don't look exactly like those. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then, once you've got those, we're just going to add some ovals to the top. We've got some sea anemones. So finish up your sea anemones, and then we're going to take a look at the coral we have over here, which our coral is just kind of like a big blob. Like there's no real way for me to describe how to draw this, except you just come up and then you just kind of make some squiggly lines that all connect, and then you come back down. So you don't even have to make it look like this at all. I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to come up, and I'm just going to draw some squiggly lines. Just squiggle around. Let them touch. Don't let them touch. And then I bring it back down. So see, this one doesn't look anything like this one. That's okay. Doesn't have to look like this one. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. It's perfectly fine. Then the next thing we need to do is we're going to draw the line for the sand at the bottom of the ocean. So you can see how my line is going behind my sea plants, but it looks like it's one continuous line, right? So we got to do this carefully. So wherever I start over here, I got to pick my pen. You're going to pick your pencil up. I'm going to pick my Sharpie up. I'm going to start over here and then go over to the next section, pick it up, go down, come over here to my coral, pick it up, go to the other side. And again, your seafloor doesn't have to look like mine. We just kind of want to make it look like it's one continuous line all the way across. And then the last thing we have to do is draw our starfish. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to draw 5 letter V's that all connect. Some of them are upside down, some of them are on their sides, some of them are actual V's, but they're just going to connect. So I do V, V, that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it have to look perfect? Nope. Just draw 5 V's that connect. And then we are finished. Finished drawing. But we're not completely finished because you guys need to color. Now, what I did with mine is I just outlined with a marker. I haven't colored it in yet because this drawing does take a long time. We've spent almost 25 minutes drawing our sea turtle picture, which is fine. It's fine. But you guys can color as much of it as you have time to get finished with today. Some of you may finish coloring your picture. If not, you know you can always take it home and finish coloring it. You can finish coloring it in class, especially if you've got indoor recess. So I'm going to leave my examples up here so you guys can finish drawing if you are not finished. And then once you're done, remember, we outline with a marker, color in with a crayon, and I hope you guys had fun drawing our adorable little sea turtle today. And until next time.